change it around. We have 3 U-shaped tables in the classroom, so I do have them grouped a little bit. And then over here, this small table right here is my table where my independent learners tend to sit. And it's today, school is out. I am currently fixing my kids' visuals because they were very messed up. They've been messing them up big time. Those are my IEP boxes and things like that. Oh, look at these little couches. They're so cute, right? The kids love them. About books that need to get put away. A sensory pad. This is just a little mat. So the kids, they kind of like it. Just gives them a little ink spill. This area is just like their calm down area, their cool down, run around if they got a little bit of energy. Just a relaxed area. Whiteboard, a smart board, which is not working right now, but I am waiting to get my bulb replacement so I can get it fixed. Visuals up at the top. Some cool stuff right here from my speech pathologist. She left us some nice little before words, eye routine, self-talk, what counts as a word, because most of my kids, I have 4 kids who can communicate. The rest of them make approximations of words or sounds, but they are non-communicative. So we got what counts as a word. We got animal sounds, part of a word approximations, sign language, multiple languages, of course, environmental sounds, and exclamatory words. My camera looks kind of dirty. Sorry about that. Communication, temptations, and withholding. Withholding is just something that we're practicing with some of our students who can talk, but who choose not to talk, or just, they just will be hesitant. So you basically just, if your child has several words but isn't using them independently, try using the withholding strategy. Withholding is a simple strategy where you intentionally wait before you give them something until they communicate it with you. So you know your child so well that you can anticipate most of their needs. Oh my God, I used to do this to my son all the time. I remember telling his doctor, like, I know what he wants. He doesn't have to ask me. Right. Sometimes this limits the verbal communication, and that's what it did for my son, that your child needs to use throughout the day. So when your child points to what he wants, you look at him and say, well, tell me what you want, and then wait and see if your child responds. If your child doesn't respond, you can give a verbal model, like, say milk. Once your child responds verbally, give your child what they want. This strategy only works if your child has demonstrated that he or she has that word in the vocabulary. So you cannot withhold something from a child and prompt them to request it with words when they do not know the words. Okay, so let's just be clear about that, because that can happen sometimes. Before words. So these are the things that can happen before words. You can use sing song, voice, and talk to your child when you stop and look expectantly. He makes noises and talks back to you using jargon. So that's some of the communication that happens before they actually start saying words. Or vocalizes to objects. Your child can hold and look at an object in their hand. Imitating sounds. This is when your child copies, basically. It could be animal noises and other silly sounds that they're interested in. Joint attention. Joint attention is when you and your child share interest in the same item, and your child looks at you like they know that you were looking at that item as well. So you guys had joint attention. Before words, when your child initiates social games, that's awesome. Pointing, of course, pointing to objects, gesturing, social referencing, and push and pull when they push you to the item or pull you away from an item that they don't want you to be by. That's their way of communicating. Oh, I like this one. The plus one routine. So the plus one routine is a strategy to increase your child's utterance length. So you just want to basically the goal is just to add one word to whatever the child says. So if a child looks at a bird and says bird, you could say, oh, little bird or big bird. Or if the child says help, you could say help, please, or help me. Just add on one word to try to get your child to use more words, basically. This right here is our new schedule that I put up for my paraeducators because they seem to always forget what's supposed to be going on. You know, this is my first year teaching at this school. I was substitute teaching since 2014, and I've done some long-term assignments, and now I am in this classroom. I have two paraeducators, and because we just maxed out with our students, I actually was able to get another paraeducator. However, they seem to forget a lot of stuff. So I actually put the visual up. This is actually for them. So this is not even for the students, but this is for them to know what is going on because they seem to be a little unclear sometimes. And so I'm just spending my day after work trying to get caught up with the visuals. Some of my kids, it's a couple just selected ones who tend to tear them down a lot. So after like these past couple of days, they tore up so many visuals that my visual schedule for the kids are not, it doesn't have all the visuals that they need. And so I have to fix it. That is where one of my students' names is. I typically have a picture up top and then a name down bottom just so that students, one, can recognize their picture, two, can recognize their name. So name recognition and just identifying themselves. And this is also because this is their transition area where they sit down. So as you can see, that little white spot, that is a small little piece of their name. I normally do things bigger for the kids, but I just wanted to always remind them that where they sit at, whether it's the desk or wherever they go, their cubbies, they just have areas that are specifically for them. And so for this student, you know, they have their name right there on their transition chair. And then up here, this is where they sit. When we are transitioning on to the next thing, basically our schedule goes as follows. And like I said, I'm making more visuals. So this, I took everybody's down, but this person was absent today. So that's why some of his is up still. But basically you start off the day with your backpack, put it in your cubby, grab, we go get the breakfast. The kids eat breakfast in the classroom. After they eat breakfast, we participate in circle time, and then we have 1, 2, 3 ABC centers. After centers, it's a playground. Well, actually, between this is a bathroom, restroom break. We have some students who are able to use the bathroom on their own and some who are not. After the playground, they come in and they eat a quick snack, and then they do another center of ABCs and 1, 2, 3. So just basically core education centers for the morning. Afternoon, they eat lunch. They will then have centers. This center is going to consist of like fun stuff, Legos, building, things like that. Things that are not math and language arts related, basically. So after their center, they do have a second afternoon recess, and then they come back in for one more center, and that one's just a really short time. Basically, it's just occupying the kids while most of the other children who are not